I do believe that with only $2,000, you can turn it into $1 million in just 4 years. I do believe that with only $2,000, you can turn it into $1 million in just 4 years. It sounds unbelievable, and many people would call it a fantasy. But the truth is, if you have the right financial mindset, a proper action plan, and most importantly, investment discipline, it's absolutely possible. In this video, I'm not going to talk about pipe dreams or promise overnight wealth. I'm going to show you a clear, step-by-step roadmap for each year so that you can safely, realistically, and sustainably multiply a small amount of capital by 20 times in 4 years. And if you are serious about your financial goals right now, please subscribe to the Get Rich Academy channel. Throughout this video, I'll reveal not just one, but a series of strategies and secrets that very few people are willing to share publicly. If you miss this, you'll lose an opportunity to change your financial life forever. Alright, let me ask you a question. What would you do with $2,000 in your hand? Some people would buy a new phone, some would go on a few trips and spend it all, but some would see it as a seed to plant in the land of investment and nurture it so that in 4 years, it blossoms into $1 million. Which group do you want to be in? The difference isn't in the money you have, but in how you use it. $2,000 in the hands of a spender will disappear very quickly. But $2,000 in the hands of someone with a financial mindset will become a money-making machine that never stops. In this video, you'll learn 3 of the most important things. 1. The financial mindset that the wealthy use to grow small capital into large capital. 2. A specific formula to calculate the annual growth rate needed to turn $2,000 into $1 million in 4 years. 3. A detailed roadmap for each year, what to do in year 1, where to focus in year 2, and how to accelerate in years 3 and 4 to achieve your goal. This isn't just theory. I'll give you real numbers, specific scenarios, and even warnings about the risks you need to avoid. If you find this content valuable, please hit the like button so this video can reach many other people who are also struggling with a small amount of capital. And don't forget to comment below. I will turn $2,000 into $1 million as a commitment to yourself. Before we get into the specific roadmap, I want you to visualize this. $1 million from $2,000 in 4 years means you have to achieve about 82% annual growth. Hearing that number, many people will feel overwhelmed. But if you break it down, apply the power of compound interest, and add consistent investments from your monthly income, it is entirely feasible. This is the strategy that many investors and young entrepreneurs have successfully applied. I'll show you what to do in year 1 to turn $2,000 into $4,000. In year 2, what channels to choose to go from $4,000 to $10,000. In year 3, where to focus to multiply it to $20,000. And in year 4, what you need to do to hit the $1 million mark. All of this will be in this video. So watch until the end, because if you miss one step, the entire roadmap will fall apart. Right now, hit the subscribe button for the Get Rich Academy channel and turn on notifications, because not only in this video but in upcoming videos, I'll share more strategies with you so that from $1 million, you can go even further, to $5 million, $10 million, and toward financial freedom. Are you ready? If so, comment, "I am ready," below. And now we begin with Chapter 1, the foundational financial mindset, the key to multiplying your capital 20 times in 4 years. Chapter 1, the foundational financial mindset. If you want to turn $2,000 into $1 million in 4 years, the first thing you need isn't the best investment channel, but the right financial mindset. Because if your mindset is wrong, even if you have $20,000 or $200,000, you'll lose it all sooner or later. Conversely, if your mindset is right, even with only $200 or $2,000, you can still make it grow many times over. Let me ask you, have you ever heard this saying? The poor think about how to spend money. The rich think about how to make money. This is the core difference. The poor see money as a tool to satisfy immediate needs. They spend everything they earn, sometimes even more than they make. The rich, on the other hand, see money as a seed. Before spending, they always think about how to make that money generate more. Pattern interrupt. Stop for 3 seconds and ask yourself, the last time you had $200, what did you do with it? Did you buy a new pair of shoes, a new phone, or did you put it into a small investment? Your answer will show you exactly which group you're in. To multiply $2,000 into $1 million, you need to master these 3 foundational financial mindset principles. Principle 1. Pay yourself first. The majority of people, when they get an income, follow the formula: income minus expenses equals savings. But the truth is, there will never be anything left, because human consumption needs are endless. The rich, conversely, flip the formula: income minus savings, investments equals spending. This is called the principle of paying yourself first. For example, if you make $4,000 a month, set aside at least $800 immediately into an investment or savings fund, treating it as untouchable. The remaining $3,200 is what you use for your expenses. Gradually, you'll build your own personal money-making machine. Principle 2. Understand the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn money. Those who don't pay for it. Try to imagine, if you invested $2,000 with 20% compound interest, after 4 years you'd have over $4,000. If it's 40%, after 4 years, the amount will be close to $10,000. And if it's 82%, the rate we need to go from $2,000 to $1 million, it's completely feasible if you know how to continuously reinvest. The important thing isn't the size of your initial capital, but whether you have the patience to let compound interest do its work. Principle 3. Manage risk before thinking about profit. Newcomers often jump into investing with one question: what's the highest earning channel? But the rich ask, if I lose, will I survive? This is the secret. Because if you lose 50% of your capital, you have to earn back 100% just to break even. Many people go bankrupt because they only look at profit and forget to mitigate risk. A question for you: if you lost $400 tomorrow, would you still sleep well? What if you lost $800? What if you lost 50% of your capital? Answering these questions will tell you your risk tolerance, and this is something you must know before you start investing. Now, let's dive deeper into the difference between the mindsets of the poor, the middle class, and the rich. The poor earn money and spend money. The middle class earns money to buy assets and liabilities, a house to live in, a car to drive. The rich earn money to buy income-generating assets, businesses, rental properties, stocks. For example, a poor person with $400 would buy a new phone. The middle class might buy a car on an installment plan. The rich would put it into an investment channel so that in a few years, that money grows to $800 or $1,200, and then they'd use the profits to buy a phone or a car without touching the original capital. This is the difference that causes the wealth gap to widen. Pattern interrupt. If you're thinking, I'll invest when I have more money, you're already starting from the wrong place. Because if you can't manage $2,000, you'll lose it all when you have $20,000. Investing isn't about the amount of money, it's about habits and mindset. In the next parts of this chapter, I'll guide you on how to build a 3-tiered financial mindset. Tier 1. Protection. How to keep your money from losing value and being eroded by inflation. Tier 2. Growth. How to make your money earn a steady, consistent return. Tier 3. Breakthrough. How to choose channels that can multiply your capital quickly when you're ready. If you master these 3 tiers, you'll have a solid foundation to go far. Not just from $2,000 to $1 million, but from $1 million to $5 million or $10 million, all with the same principles. And right now, if you feel this section is opening up a new perspective for you, please like the video to spread this message to many others. Also, comment below, I will change my financial mindset, so YouTube recommends this content more. We continue with the first tier of the financial mindset, protection. The first thing you should do when you have money isn't to try to make a lot of profit, but to figure out how to keep it. Many people who just earn a small amount rush to put it all into channels that promise huge returns and then lose everything. This is the most common mistake. With $2,000, you need a financial safety net, which is an emergency fund. You should keep at least 10% of your capital in an absolutely safe place, a savings account or a short-term certificate of deposit. The goal isn't to make a profit but to ensure you don't have to withdraw your investment capital during an unexpected emergency. Pattern interrupt. Try to imagine this. If you had to pay a $200 medical bill tomorrow, what would you do? If you don't have an emergency fund, you'll be forced to withdraw money from your stocks or crypto right when the market is down. And with that, you lose both your capital and the opportunity for growth. Once you have the protection layer, we move to Tier 2, growth. This is where you let your money work for you. You can't get rich just by keeping money in savings, but it teaches you discipline and money management. After that, you need to move into more stable growth channels: blue chip stocks, ETFs, bonds. The goal at this tier is to achieve an 8 to 15% annual return. It might sound small, but remember that compound interest is a silent weapon. For example, $2,000 with a 12% annual return will give you close to $3,200 after 4 years. If you consistently add more money from your regular income, that number can double or triple. This is how genuinely wealthy people build sustainable wealth. And finally, Tier 3, Breakthrough. This is the part that many young people are most excited about: business, crypto, forex, startup. This is where you can multiply your capital 2 or 3 times in just 1 year, but it's also where you can lose everything the fastest. The key rule is to only move to Tier 3 when your Tiers 1 and 2 are solid, meaning you already have an emergency fund and a steady stream of growing capital. If not, you'll go all in out of fear, and your emotions will be what destroys you. Pattern interrupt. I know many of you will think, I want to get rich fast. I don't want to go slow. My friend, we're at the third tier of the financial mindset, Breakthrough. This is the tier that many people are eager to jump into from the very beginning, but it's also where 80 to 90% of new investors lose money. Remember, a breakthrough isn't about recklessness. A breakthrough means taking calculated risks based on the safe foundation you built in Tiers 1 and 2. If you don't have an emergency fund and a stable growth channel and you jump into crypto or forex, you're not having a breakthrough, you're gambling. So, how do you have a proper breakthrough? There are 3 principles you need to engrave in your mind. Principle 1. Use tuition money, not survival money. Tuition money is an amount you can lose and still sleep well. Survival money is for rent, food, and your kids' education. Don't ever use survival money for a breakthrough. With your $2,000 capital, you can set aside $200 to $400 to try out high-risk ventures. If you lose it, consider it tuition. If you win, it's a reward. Principle 2. Set the rules before you start. Don't wait until the market is volatile to decide whether to hold or sell. Set your rules in advance. For example, cut losses at 15% down, or take partial profits at 30% up. Undisciplined people are often greedy when they win and scared when they lose, and as a result, they lose both ways. Principle 3. Invest in yourself before you invest in the market. Before you put money into stocks, spend time learning fundamental analysis. Before you invest in a business, learn marketing and management. Before you jump into crypto, learn how to manage risk and read white papers. Knowledge is your shield. Pattern interrupt. Do you know why many people won big in 2020 and 2021 with stocks and crypto but then lost everything in 2022? It's not because they were stupid, it's because they won by luck and mistook it for skill. When the market turned, they didn't have the knowledge and discipline to protect their gains. At this point, we've gone through the 3 tiers of the financial mindset. Tier 1, protection, emergency funds, inflation proofing, and capital preservation. Tier 2, growth, stable returns, disciplined accumulation. Tier 3, breakthrough, high risk, high return, but with a safe foundation. If you build all 3 of these tiers, you'll no longer panic when the market is volatile. You'll know exactly where your money is, what its purpose is, and what the risks are. This is the foundational mindset that 95% of people out there never learn, so they always follow the crowd and lose money. Now, let me show you the 5 deadly financial mistakes that most people make and that you need to avoid at all costs. Mistake 1. Letting money die in your account. Many people let thousands of dollars sit idly in a bank account, not earning interest. They think it's safe, but in reality, inflation is eating away at it every day. If inflation is 5% a year, today's $2,000 will only be worth about $1,600 in 4 years. This means you're silently losing money without even knowing it. Mistake 2. Investing based on emotion and the crowd. People are buying gold, so I'll buy gold. Everyone's jumping into crypto, so I'll go all in. People are pulling out, so I'll pull out. This is the fastest way to lose capital. Remember, by the time you hear about it in the news, the big wave has usually already passed. The winners are the ones who prepare in advance, not the ones who follow behind. Mistake 3. Not having a plan. Investing without a plan is like sailing without a map. You throw a little money here and a little money there, and in the end, you don't know what you want. Always write down your goals for 1 year and 4 years, what percentages in each channel, and when you'll sell or hold. People with a plan can adjust. People without a plan can only panic. Mistake 4. Not separating investment capital from spending money. This is the trap that leads many to bankruptcy. They use money for food, tuition, and living expenses for investing. When they hit a snag, they're forced to sell at a loss or go into debt to cover it. The result is losing money and going into debt. Always remember to only use spare money for investing. Mistake 5. Not continuously learning. The market changes every day. What was right today might be wrong tomorrow. If you stop learning, you'll be left behind. Investing is a lifelong game, and those who consistently learn are the ones who win in the end. Pattern interrupt. Take a moment and ask yourself, how many of these 5 mistakes are you making? If it's 2 or more, comment below. I need to change, because only when you admit it can you move on to the next stage. My friend, in this first chapter, I want to drive home one point. Money isn't as important as mindset. If you have the right mindset, $2,000 will be the start of a strong financial journey. If your mindset is wrong, $20,000 or even $200,000 will eventually be gone. In the next chapter, we'll get into the formula for multiplying your capital 20 times in 4 years. That is, the specific calculations to go from $2,000 to $1 million with clear numbers. This is the part many people have been waiting for because it turns the mindset into a practical path. If you're still here, hit the like button so I know you're ready for the formula, and comment below so YouTube pushes this video to more people who want to get rich with a small amount of capital just like you. Chapter 2. The formula for multiplying capital 20 times in 4 years. You have $2,000 in your hand, and your goal is $1 million after 4 years. It sounds huge, but let's break it down into specific numbers so you can see it's not a fantasy. First, understand that going from $2,000 to $1 million means you need to multiply your money 20 times. So what's the formula to get you there? There are 2 main factors: annual growth rate and continuous reinvestment. This is the principle of compound interest. If you want $2,000 to become $1 million in 4 years, you need to multiply it by about 82% each year compared to the previous year. Year 1, from $2,000 to $3,640. Year 2, from $3,640 to $6,640. Year 3, from $6,640 to $12,480. Year 4, from $12,480 to close to $22,000. That's if you only rely on compound interest. But we're not just letting the money grow on its own. We're also actively adding new capital from monthly income. Let's say you're disciplined and add an extra $200 each month, which is $2,400 a year. Over 4 years, you add an extra $9,600 in new capital. When you combine this with the growth effect, the final number can absolutely hit the $1 million mark. The most important point here is that you must combine both, growing old capital and continuously adding new capital. The rich always do this. They don't just let their capital earn on its own. They continuously add more fuel to make their financial machine run faster. Let's try a specific scenario. Year 1. You have $2,000. You invested in safe stocks or a small business, achieving a 40% growth rate, a number that is entirely possible if you're serious. By the end of the year, your capital is $2,800. At the same time, you've added $2,400 from your income, bringing your total to $5,200. Year 2. You reinvest the $5,200 and aim for 50% growth. It's a high goal but not impossible. Your capital after year 2 is close to $7,800. Adding the new $2,400 in savings, you have about $10,200. Year 3. $10,200 grows by 60%, bringing you to almost $16,320. Add another $2,400, and you have about $18,720. Year 4. You aim for a breakthrough, achieving 80% growth. At that point, $18,720 will become more than $33,696. Add the final $2,400, and you'll be over $36,000, close to $1 million. And if in some years you achieve a higher than expected return, exceeding $1 million is entirely possible. This is the formula. Profit plus reinvestment plus consistent capital addition plus discipline equals compound interest running continuously. Stop and ask yourself, what have you done with your money over the past 4 years? Have you let compound interest work, or have you spent it all as soon as you got it? If you haven't, comment, "I will start," as a commitment starting today. One important thing: don't confuse theoretical numbers with reality. In reality, some years you'll make a lot, some years a little, and some years you might lose money. But if you stay disciplined and continuously add capital, in the long run, you'll still reach your goal. This formula isn't for the lazy. It's for those who understand that wealth doesn't come from luck but from a clear plan and persistent action. Remember, $2,000 plus investment discipline plus $200 per month plus compound interest equals $1 million after 4 years. This isn't a dream, it's math. And now I will analyze in detail each year what you should do, what channels to choose, and how to allocate your capital to achieve this growth rate. Year 1. Launch and build the foundation. You have $2,000 in your hand. The biggest mistake is jumping right into high-risk channels, hoping to double your money quickly. Your job in year 1 is to build a solid foundation and learn to manage money. First, set aside $200 as an emergency fund. This is money you're not allowed to touch unless there's an emergency. The remaining $1,600, you start allocating as follows: $800 into a safe channel like a short-term savings account or a bond fund. $800 into a growth channel like an ETF or blue-chip stocks. Throughout year 1, your goal isn't huge profit but learning patience. Let's assume an average return of 30 to 40% on the growth portion. You might end the year with about $2,600. But more importantly, you've formed the habit of adding an extra $200 a month from your income to your investment fund. After 12 months, you've added an extra $2,400. Your total capital at the end of the year is about $5,000 to $5,200. Year 1 is also when you should invest in yourself. Read at least 12 books on personal finance, and take 1 or 2 courses on stocks, online business, or money management skills. The money you spend on education will bring the highest return. Stop and think. If you can't be disciplined with $200 a month, you'll never be disciplined with $2,000 a month. Year 1 isn't about earning a lot but about building your financial muscles. Year 2. Speeding up. By the start of year 2, you have about $5,200. This is the time to expand your investment channels. Instead of keeping so much in savings, you can allocate 30% of your capital to stocks, 20% to an ETF fund, 10% to a small online business, and the rest to bonds or gold. Your goal for year 2 is to achieve 50% growth, which means turning your $5,200 into about $7,800. Adding the $2,400 you contribute from your income, your total capital at the end of the year will be around $10,200. In year 2, you need to start experimenting with small projects, selling online, co-investing with friends, opening a small coffee stand, or importing a small batch of goods to test the market. This is not just investing, it's also learning business. You might make a small profit or even a slight loss, but the lessons learned are invaluable. Remember this: don't be afraid of making mistakes. Making mistakes on a small scale is just tuition. The important thing is what you learn to prepare you for a larger scale. Year 3. The leap. Once you have $10,200, you have more options. This is when you need to choose 1 or 2 of the most effective channels from the past 2 years and focus your efforts. If stocks have brought in good returns, increase your allocation. If your online business is profitable, expand it. If your ETF fund is stable, continue to invest regularly. Your goal for year 3 is to achieve 60% growth. The $10,200 will become about $16,320. Adding the new $2,400, you'll have around $18,720. This is a large enough number for you to feel the power of compound interest. In year 3, you need to learn how to reinvest your profits. This means that instead of withdrawing the money to spend, you funnel all the profit back into your capital. This is the key to accelerating your growth. The rich don't spend their profits right away, they let it generate even more profit. Year 4. The breakthrough to the finish line. With $18,720 in your hands, you've gone almost halfway. This is the time to focus all your energy on a breakthrough. Choose the 2 strongest channels, allocate your capital decisively, and set a goal of 80% growth. If you achieve this, your capital will be over $33,696. Adding the final $2,400 from your income, you'll reach a milestone of nearly $36,000. And with just a little luck and a few deals, you'll surpass the $1 million mark. One thing to remember: a breakthrough doesn't mean gambling. It means focusing your energy on what has already been proven to be effective. If stocks and online business have yielded the best results in the past 3 years, focus on those. Thus, after 4 years, from your initial $2,000 plus the $9,600 in new capital, compound interest, and growth, you can completely hit the $1 million milestone. This isn't an empty promise but a concrete path proven by math and discipline. Are you ready to write your 4-year plan? If so, comment, "I will start now," to make a commitment to yourself. Detailed implementation, the 4-year plan. My friend, to help you visualize what you need to do every day, every month, and not just focus on the numbers, let's delve deeper into each step of this 4-year plan. Year 1. Building financial habits. The number one goal in year 1 is to build disciplined financial habits. Every month when you get paid, immediately set aside $200 into a separate account. Don't let the money sit with your spending money, because you'll spend it without even realizing it. If you need to, open a new bank account just for investing and leave the ATM card at home. With your initial $1,600 investment capital, focus on safe and easy to manage channels. Send $800 to savings or a bond fund, and put $800 into an ETF fund like the VN30 or some blue chip stocks. Your goal is not super profit but to learn to watch market fluctuations and get used to the idea of your money making money. Remember, year 1 is for learning to walk, not to run. Throughout year 1, dedicate time to read at least 12 books on personal finance and investing. Books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, and The Intelligent Investor will become your foundation for the years to come. Simultaneously, you can take an online course on basic stock trading or online marketing. One crucial thing: document your entire journey. Every month, record the amount you invested, the profit or loss, what you learned, and how you felt when the market went up or down. After 1 year, you'll see a clear maturation in your mindset. Year 2. Accelerating and experimenting. With about $5,200, you can try out new channels. For example, $1,600 into individual stocks, $1,200 into an ETF, $800 into a small online business like selling on Shopee or TikTok Shop, or running affiliate ads. The remaining $1,600 will stay in a savings or bond fund as a safety net. The goal for year 2 is to accelerate and experiment. This is when you learn to operate with money in different streams and learn which channel is the best fit for you. If your online business brings in a 20 to 30% return, you can continue to expand it. If stocks make you lose sleep, reduce your allocation. In this year, start networking with the community, join investment groups, attend meetups, or find a mentor. The rich rarely go it alone. They have a network to exchange ideas and learn from. A pattern interrupt here: don't spend your profits just because you have them in year 2. The biggest mistake is withdrawing all your profit to travel or shop. Year 2 is when you must reinforce the rule of not spending your profits and only reinvesting them. Year 3. Focusing and scaling. By year 3, with around $18,720, your portfolio is large enough to be called a serious investment. This is the time to focus. After 2 years of experimenting, you should have the answer to which channel is best for you, so you can focus all your energy there. For example, if your online business has the highest profit margin, increase your capital there. If stocks are more stable, continue to invest consistently. In year 3, you also need to learn to reinvest your profits. This means when your online business makes an $800 profit, don't withdraw it. Use that profit to import more goods or expand your business. When your stock portfolio makes a 15% profit, instead of cashing out, let it continue to compound. This is the mindset of the rich: capital generates profit, and profit generates more capital. One thing to engrave in your mind: when your capital is large, your emotions will be more intense. Losing $200 might not bother you, but losing $2,000 will cause you to panic. Year 3 is the year you must train your mental fortitude and not let emotions dictate your decisions. Year 4. Breaking through to the finish line. Finally, year 4 is the breakthrough year. With nearly $20,000 in your hands, you need to set a higher goal. This is the time to choose the 2 strongest channels and allocate the majority of your capital to them. For example, $12,000 in stocks, $6,000 in an online business, and $800 still in a safe channel. In year 4, you can set a profit goal of 70 to 80%. If you achieve this, your capital will approach or exceed $36,000. Adding the final $2,400 from your income, you will have hit the $1 million milestone. Most importantly, after 4 years, you won't just have money. You'll have the mindset, discipline, and skills that will take you from $1 million to $5 million and then $10 million in the years to come. As you can see, the formula to go from $2,000 to $1 million in 4 years isn't a dream. It's a combination of discipline, compound interest, consistent capital addition, reinvestment, and choosing the right channels. Are you brave enough to start today? If so, comment, "I will start now," to commit to yourself. A detailed, year-by-year plan. My friend, in the previous section, we went through the 4-year roadmap with specific numbers. Now I'll analyze each year and each step in more detail so you can clearly see what you need to do every day, every month, and every quarter. This is no longer just a vague concept, it's a concrete action plan. Year 1. Launch and discipline training. The first year is the foundation. Because if you don't have good financial habits, all the numbers that follow are just an illusion. The first thing to do is set up a money management system. As soon as you receive your monthly income, immediately set aside 20 to 30% for investing, which is about $200. Never spend all your money and then think about saving. This is the unbreakable rule of paying yourself first. With the initial $2,000 capital, divide it as follows: $400 for an emergency fund, $800 for savings or a bond fund, and $800 for an ETF or blue chip stocks. In the first year, your goal isn't to earn a lot but to learn to be patient while watching the market, to learn how to read reports, and to train yourself to be calm when prices go up and down. Imagine that if you consistently add $200 a month, just from that alone, you'll have an extra $2,400 at the end of the year. The initial $2,000 plus an average 30% profit and the $2,400 in new capital brings your total at the end of the year to about $5,000 minus $5,200. This number isn't huge yet, but the important thing is that you've developed financial habits, and this is the power that will help you go far. Year 2. Accelerating and experimenting. Entering year 2, you have about $5,200 in your hands. This is the time to expand and diversify. You can put 30% of your capital into individual stocks, 20% into an ETF, 20% into safe channels like bonds, 10% into gold, and the remaining 20% into small business experiments. In year 2, you have to dare to try small projects to learn business. For example, you use $800 to import a batch of phone accessories to sell on Shopee, or you co-invest $400 with friends to open a takeaway coffee stand. The goal isn't to win big, but to learn how to run a real-world model, importing goods, selling, managing costs, and marketing. These lessons are priceless because even with a small profit or loss, you're buying knowledge that no classroom can teach. If you do it right, you can achieve an average profit of 50%. Your $5,200 will grow to $7,800. Adding $2,400 from your income, you'll finish the year with about $10,200. At this point, you'll start to see the power of compound interest combined with adding new capital. Year 3. Focusing and scaling. With $10,200, you are no longer a small-time investor. This is the time you need to choose 1 or 2 of the most effective channels and focus your capital. After 2 years of experimenting, you have the answers. How much did stocks make? Is the online business feasible? How stable is the ETF? If your online business is consistently profitable, you can increase your capital from $800 to $3,200 and expand your product line. If stocks give you good results, increase your allocation to blue chips or ETFs. The principle is to concentrate your energy on what's most effective rather than spreading your capital too thin. Your goal for year 3 is to achieve 60% growth. The $10,200 will become $16,320. Adding the new $2,400, you'll have about $18,720. This is the stage where you must learn how to reinvest your profits. When your online business makes $800 profit, you use that profit to import more goods and expand. When your stocks make a 15% profit, you don't withdraw the money. You let it continue to compound. This is how the rich turn profit into assets instead of turning profit into liabilities. Year 4. Breaking through to the $40,000 milestone. With $18,720, you've come 3/4 of the way. This is the time to focus all your energy on a breakthrough. Choose the 2 strongest channels, for example, stocks and online business, and allocate the majority of your capital to them. For example, you put $12,000 into stocks, $6,000 into an online business, and keep $400 in a safe channel. Your goal for year 4 is 70 to 80% growth. If you achieve this, your capital will increase to about $33,696. Adding the new $2,400 in savings, you'll reach nearly $36,000. And if during the year you have a few explosive deals, for example, a stock that jumps significantly or an online product that goes viral, surpassing $1 million is completely within reach. The key point of year 4 is to focus and have a selective breakthrough. Don't fall into a new channel. Don't get distracted by short-term opportunities. Focus all your energy on what has proven to be effective. This is the surest way to reach your goal. When you look back after 4 years, you will see a tremendous change. Not only will you have gone from $2,000 to $1 million, but more importantly, you'll have financial discipline, real-world experience, and a long-term investment mindset. These things will continue to multiply, taking you from $1 million to $5 million and then $10 million in the years that follow. Now, write down a detailed plan for yourself. What you will do each year, how you'll divide your capital, what skills you'll learn, and then comment, "I will turn $2,000 into $1 million," to make a public commitment to yourself and the community. Chapter 4. Risks and how to mitigate them. My friend, if you only look at the bright side, you'll see the journey from $2,000 to $1 million in 4 years is very appealing. But in reality, this path is full of risks, and if you aren't prepared, all your hard work could vanish in a single event. This is an extremely important chapter because it helps you survive in any situation. Risk 1. Market risk. Stocks can drop 20 to 30% in just a few months. Crypto can fall 50 to 80% in a year. An online business can suddenly suffer heavy losses because a trend changes. These are fluctuations you cannot control. The way to mitigate this is to diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If one channel loses, another will compensate. Also, always have an emergency fund of at least 10% of your capital so you aren't forced to sell at a loss. Risk 2. Human risk. You might co-invest with friends without a clear contract. When there's a loss, you fight. When there's a profit, you fight over it. Or you might get lured into a fraudulent pyramid scheme. This is a very common risk. The way to mitigate it is to only co-invest when you have a clear legal contract. Never put money into something you don't understand. And remember not to let emotions cloud your judgment when it comes to money. Risk 3. Psychological risk. This is the number one enemy. When the market goes up, you get greedy and want to go all in. When the market goes down, you panic and sell everything. The result is buying at the peak and selling at the bottom. This is the cycle that causes 90% of investors to lose money. The way to mitigate it is to write down your rules and commit to following them. For example, cut losses at 15%, or take partial profits at 30%. Never let emotions make decisions for you. Risk 4. Spending risk. Many people invest and make a profit of $2,000, then use it to buy a car or a new phone and spend it all. If the profit isn't reinvested, the journey is over. The way to mitigate it is to commit that in the first 4 years, all profit must be reinvested. Only after you hit the $1 million milestone should you allow yourself to enjoy a portion of the results. Risk 5. Inflation and crisis risk. Money loses value over time. An unexpected event like an epidemic or an economic crisis can turn all your plans upside down. The way to mitigate it, besides diversifying, is to always have a defensive channel like gold or government bonds. This is a safe haven when the market is highly volatile. A pattern interrupt here. If you think you will never face these risks, you're wrong from the start. The rich are different from the poor in that they always prepare for the worst-case scenario, not just dream about the best one. Remember, protecting your capital is more important than making a profit. If you lose 50%, you need to make 100% just to break even. If you lose 80%, you need to make 400% to get back to the starting point. Therefore, capital preservation is the #1 priority. To manage risk well, you need to follow 3 principles. 1. Never put more than 10 to 20% of your capital into a high-risk channel. 2. Always have an emergency fund big enough to live on for 3 to 6 months without needing to touch your investment capital. 3. Regularly review your portfolio, cut out weak channels, and add capital to strong ones. My friend, risk is not something to fear but something to manage. When you are fully prepared, risk will become a stepping stone that takes you further. Chapter 5. Case Studies and Inspiration. My friend, theory is just words without real-life examples. To show you that the journey from $2,000 to $1 million is entirely possible, I'll share a few stories that include both successes and failures. These will be examples for you to learn from and avoid making the same mistakes. Case Study 1. From Office Worker to Online Shop Owner. Lan, a 25-year-old office worker with a monthly salary of about $320, saved up $2,000 in 2020. Instead of putting it in savings, Lan decided to use $400 to take an online sales course, $1,200 to import a batch of organic cosmetics, and kept $400 as an emergency fund. At first, she only sold to friends and colleagues, but by persistently learning how to run ads and make TikTok videos, after 6 months, Lan's shop started to make a steady profit. She didn't withdraw the profit to spend, she reinvested it all. After 4 years, her shop's revenue reached thousands of dollars each month, and her total accumulated profit exceeded $1 million. From an office worker, Lan became a successful online shop owner. The lesson: dare to learn, dare to start small, and be persistent in reinvesting. This is the formula for success. Case Study 2. The Patient Stock Investor. Min, a 28-year-old software engineer, saved $2,000. He chose to invest in stocks. Instead of chasing short-term trends, Min bought 2 blue-chip stocks and 1 ETF. He consistently added $200 each month. During periods when the market dropped, he didn't sell in a panic. He saw it as an opportunity to buy more. After 4 years, thanks to compound interest and continuous capital addition, Min's portfolio exceeded $44,000. He didn't become a millionaire overnight, but he proved that discipline and patience bring results. The lesson: compound interest only works when you let time do the work for you. Case Study 3. The Failure of Following the Crowd. Hung, 30, was told by a friend that a certain coin would increase 10 times in value. He took all of his $2,000 and bought that coin. The price did double in 2 weeks, but he didn't take any profits, thinking it would go even higher. A few months later, the coin's value plummeted 90%. Hung's capital was almost completely wiped out. He panicked and sold everything, missing the opportunity for a recovery. After a year, he had no capital left to invest, only fear. The lesson: without research and without risk management, investing is just gambling. Case Study 4. The Smart Co-Investor. Mai, 32, had $2,000. She didn't start her own business but co-invested with a friend to open a bubble tea shop. However, Mai required a clear contract, contributing 20% of the capital, receiving 20% of the profits, and having the right to audit the books. The shop did well, making a profit of $1,200 each month, and Mai received $240 regularly. After 3 years, her initial capital had been recouped, and her profits continued to increase. After 4 years, Mai had earned more than $20,000 from her initial investment. The lesson: co-investing can be very profitable if you choose the right people and have a transparent contract. Case Study 5. The Self-Investor. 2, 27, used his $2,000 to learn programming and English. After 2 years, he got a new job with a salary 3 times higher than his old one. In 4 years, his total accumulated income had far surpassed $40,000. He didn't get rich from stocks or business but from his own abilities. The lesson: investing in yourself has the highest ROI and never loses value. As you can see, there are many paths from $2,000 to $1 million. But the common thread among the successful ones is that they have a plan, discipline, and a willingness to learn. Those who fail are often impulsive, follow the crowd, or lack risk management. Stop and ask yourself, do you want to be like Lan, Min, Mai, or Tu, or like Hung? Your answer will determine how you act after watching this video. Chapter 6. Conclusion. My friend, we have been on a long journey together. From the foundational financial mindset and the formula to multiply capital 20 times, to a concrete year-by-year roadmap, the risks to avoid, and real-life case studies. It all revolves around one question. What will you do with the $2,000 in your hands? $2,000 may be a small amount for some, but it can be a starting fortune for those who know how to use it correctly. The important thing isn't how much you start with, but how you start. The difference between successful people and failures is that they dare to write down a plan, dare to act, and dare to be persistent to the end. Remember these 4 things. Don't let your money sit idle, because inflation will eat away at it every day. Don't follow the crowd, because the crowd often loses. Don't forget to reinvest, because compound interest is a magical key. Don't underestimate learning, because the greatest investment is investing in yourself. If you are truly serious, as soon as you finish watching this video, get a pen and paper and write down my 4-year plan to go from $2,000 to $1 million. Write down what you'll do in year 1, how much you'll add each month, and what channels you'll choose. When you write it down, you've turned a dream into a plan, and when you act, that plan will become a reality. A pattern interrupt. If you don't do this today, a year from now, you'll look back and find you're still standing in the same place. But if you start today, a year from now, you'll have already completed a quarter of your journey. Time will pass whether you act or not. So why not make it work for you? My friend, I don't promise that you will get rich overnight. I'm just showing you a realistic roadmap where discipline and patience will turn a small amount of capital into financial freedom. And if you are steadfast, the $2,000 in your hands today will be the starting point for $1 million, $5 million, or even $10 million in the future. Now, I want you to comment below. I will start today. That is your commitment to yourself. Don't forget to like this video to support it, subscribe to the Get Rich Academy channel, and turn on notifications because in upcoming videos, I'll share with you upgrade strategies, how to go from $1 million to $5 million, $10 million, and toward true financial freedom. Your financial future begins with this decision. Will you let your $2,000 sleep, or will you make it make money? The choice is yours. Thank you for watching until the end. I am Mark from the Get Rich Academy channel. See you in the next video.